configuring email transmission in our Linux system. Now, regardless of many online communication methods that are available today, email remains the practical way to deliver messages from one end to the other, the world to the other end, and to person sitting in the office next to ours. So either we are sending the mail to internet from one end to the other end on the world, or within the organization also email remains the main source for sending and receiving messages. Now the following image illustrates that the process of email transport starting with the sender until the message reaches the recipient inbox. Now we have the protocols there which used to send and receive the email messages. So for sending the email, we have SMTP protocol. SMTP protocol is used to send the mail. It is simple mail transport protocol. It do what? It used to transfer the mail from client to server and server to server. So basically it only used to transfer the mail. Now if we want to receive the mail, then it uses POP3 or IMAP. So we use POP3 or IMAP to receive the mail. So when we send the mail, we use SMTP. SMTP is for sending the mail. So when the client send the mail, so it will go by using the SMTP protocol to the mail server, and it is the mail server of this client. Then if the mail has sent to the other server, other client of the other server, other mail server, so it will do what? The mail server will send the mail to other server or other mail server by using the same SMTP protocol, and then from that server the users can download or can access the mail by using the POP3 or IMAP protocol. Now to make this possible, several things happen behind the scene in order to an email message to delivered from client applications, such as in Linux we have Thunderbird, in Windows we use Outlook, or even we use the web mail services such as Gmail or Yahoo Mail. So a mail server to send the from the client to a mail server, and from there to the destination server, and finally to its intended recipient. So SMTP protocol, that is simple mail transfer protocol service, must be in place in each server. Then this is the reason why in this article what we are going to do is, in this lecture we are going to see how we can configure the SMTP server in RHEL 7, where emails sent by local user even to other local users are forwarded to a central email server for easier access. Now for in our RHEL 7 we have the mail transfer agent. In Linux system we have mail transfer agents. So we have SendMail and Postfix as a mail transfer agent in our RHEL 7 in our Linux. In previous versions of RHEL we have the default MTA as SendMail, but on RHEL 7 now we have the default MTA as a Postfix. And by default when we Postfix installed in our system, that means we have SMTP protocol configured and running, and it is used to send system generated mails. So whenever any problem or error comes, so in a system or our system generates the mail to local administrator, that is root, about the problem. Now if you have installed the graphical GUI version with these servers, and if you selected to install the mail services, then it installs the Postfix in our RHEL 7 at the installation time. In previous versions of RHEL, when we select to install the email services at the installation time, it used to install the SendMail, but SendMail is not used now. It uses Postfix now. And by default when we install, when we select to go for we select the mail services at the installation time, so it install the Postfix and services are running for the Postfix. That means the mail server is running and it is used to send mails for the system generated errors or information, and it goes to system administrator. By default Postfix services listen on local host, that means 127.0.0.1 IP, and that means it will not accept mail from any other system. So if you have installed or at the time of the installation or after the installation also, when you install the Postfix and you start the services for the Postfix, so it will start the SMTP protocol it will listen on SMTP protocol but only accept the connection from local host. Local host, that means only accept the mail from local system, it will not accept the mail from other systems. So we have to configure the mail server. If we want to use the server as a mail server, that means we have to accept mails from the other clients also, and for that we have to configure our postfix mail transfer agent so that it can accept the mails from the other clients also. Now we need DNS server configured for name resolution for email addresses. If you try to use the host files for name resolution, it will not work. So remember, if you are using the mail server, if you are configuring the mail services, we configure the postfix, then it needs the DNS server configured first, so that it can do the resolution of name email addresses by using the name resolution of machines or server name. Otherwise, if you try the other option, like if you try the host file, so it won't work. It actually don't use the host file for the name resolution. We can use host file for some other services, like if you are configuring Apache HTTPD and we have not configured the email address, we have not configured the DNS, and we want to resolve the name-based sites, then we can still use the host file. But for mail services, it won't work. Now, for configuring the postfix, for configuring the SMTP protocol in our server, we need to install the postfix package first. So this is the package requirement. We have to install the postfix package, and then we can do what? We can configure the server for as a mail services. Now after configuring, after installing the packages, and when we start the services of postfix, so it will start the SMTP protocol and our machine will start listening on SMTP protocol. And our machine, we can call it as a SMTP server also. But it listen on only local host. Local host, that means only 127.0.0.1 IP. To accept mail from other system, we have to configure the postfix. In the configuration file of the postfix, main configuration file, we have to change some parameters. Now these are the some important configuration settings in the configuration file of postfix. Like for example, we have the setting called iNet interfaces. This controls which network interface postfix listen on for incoming and outgoing messages. If set to loopback only, postfix listen only on 127.0.0.1 or IPv6 loopback address. If set to all, the postfix listen on all network interfaces. One or more host names and IP addresses separated by white spaces can be listed. So we can define, by default it is defined this, by default it is defined iNet interfaces is equal to localhost, and this is why it only listen to the local host. If we want to accept the mail from other machines, then we have to change this option from localhost to any other option. Like for example, if we set all, then it is going to accept the mail from everyone. Now my origin, this rewrite the locally posted email to appear to come from this domain, and this helps ensure responses return to the correct domain the email server is responsible for. So my origin defines the domain name, my host name here, and we can set the variable here, my host name. So this host name variable will set what? It will write the locally posted email to appear to come from this domain. The domain name which we give here, it looks like the mail, when the mail comes, so it will comes from this domain, it will add the domain name by itself. So when you type suppose username, so with that username it will add the domain name like this, user1 at the domain name, so that the mail, we can easily identify the mail is coming from where. We can also set relay host. This configuration used to forward all messages to the mail server specified that are supposed to be sent to origin foreign mail addresses, and square bracket name suppress the MX record lookup also. That means this configuration is used to relay the message from this mail server to other mail server. This will do forward the mails for the specific server, a specified mail server, and supposed to be sent to the foreign mail address. And we can add multiple mail addresses. We can separate. We can use the square brackets around the host names to suppress the MX record lookup also. That means it will not look up into the MS record also. MX record under the DNS. Then we have my network. This allow relay through this mail server from a comma separated list of IP addresses and networks in CIDR notation to anywhere without further authentication. So if the my network setting is not explicitly set in this main configuration file, this is the main configuration file for postfix, so it will be filled automatically using the setting for my network style, and the default for my network style is subnet, and meaning that all subnet in which the server has an IP address will be added to my networks. And this is often not a desired situation, specifically in a situation where the server has an external IP addresses. It is recommended that my network setting gets added manually, or my network style is set to forced. That means we should set the my networks to your network IP so that it will define your network here. Otherwise it is going to use the network or whatever the network interface you have, whatever the IP addresses of the interface you have, it will use that network as a subnet, that subnet as a network. And if we have multiple network adapters, then it will get all the adapters. Then my destination defines the configuration which domains that mail servers is an endpoint for, and email address to these domains are delivered into local mailboxes. By default it is going for the local mailboxes, but we can define the destination here, that where the mail servers mails will go to, like which domain the mail server is an endpoint we have. Local transport determines how email addresses to my destination should be, this variable my destination should be delivered. By default set to local, so which uses the local mail delivery agent to deliver incoming mail to the local message store, and that is where spool mail. So whatever the mail comes to the local server, it stores into the where spool mail directory regardless of the user account. Set this to error, that means error messages, and example local transport is equal to error, that means local delivery disabled, to disable the local delivery completely. So it will disable the local delivery, and by default it is set to local. It is set to local and my host name. So here first we will check the package is installed or not. We can use the yum command, we can use the rpm command, and then we can use the postfix. So we check the postfix is installed or not. So it is installed, and if it is not installed, then we can install it by using the yum or rpm. Yum will do what? It will install the package with the full dependencies. It will not do anything because it is already installed in the latest version. Now it is installed because at the time of installation I have selected to have a mail services. Now when it is installed at the time of the selection, at the time of installation, so it is installed and it is also enabled. That means if we check netstate ntbl to see what services, what protocols our system is listening, so we see all these things, and in this we can see our mail services also. Now what I will do, I will filter it from it. So I want to grab port number 25. This port number 25 is for SMTP. This is the default port for SMTP, and let's check. So we have the SMTP running here. SMTP is running, and it is also running on 127. It is listing on 127. So as I said that the postfix, when it is installed, so it is running. That means the service for the postfix is already running. When we check the status of the postfix service, so it is running here, and when it is running, it is listening on only loopback IP address. It is running, and the SMTP protocol is configured, and it is only listening from 127.0.0.1 IP loopback IP address. So if we send a mail from the other system, then it is not going to accept. It is going to accept only the mail from the local system. Now the package is installed. Now what are the important files we have for this package? So we can check that also. We have this configuration directory here. This is the main configuration directory, and under the main configuration directory, this is our main configuration file. This is the main configuration file for the postfix. Other files are also there for the other configurations. Then we have some commands here to check the mail information. Then we have the library files here. We have some sbin commands also. Then we have the documentation here, a lot of documentation, man pages for the commands. Then we have the lib directory here. Under the lib directory we have the library files here, and we have this the services. This is the service we have here. This is a service file, that is postfix.services.service. This is a service for the postfix. Then these are the documentation, man pages, and then here it is this is the spool directory for the postfix. That means the mails, when we receive the mails or send the mail, so it has the active, bounce, corrupt, defer, flush, hold, incoming, mail drop, PID, private, public, save, trace, all these things, all these directories are there for the mail. Now our main configuration file is under postfix directory, etc postfix main.cf. Now right now we have not configured anything. We have installed the package, and actually the package is already installed and services are already running. Now if we have installed the package right now, then what we have done, after installing the package, we have just started the services. Now when we started the services, so it starts with the default setting, and the default setting says that it is going to listen only the mail from the loopback, and that means only from the local system. Now what that means, if we have some users here, like I have a user here, user 1. Now user 1, if we want to set if we want to check the mails, so it will use command mail. Now it is checking the mail here and it is not seeing any mail. Now I will open one more terminal. Here I will switch with user 2. Now this is user 2. Now user 2 is also checking the mail and there is no mail. Now the command which I am using here, mail command, it is not the part of postfix package. It is the part of different package. It is a mail client. It is a simple mail client which is installed by default when we install the Linux system. It is basically a client. It comes with the package called mail. So if you want to check the package, which package installs this, so let me show you that. You can see the command. This is the command file, and I want to know which package installs this package, this command. So I will use rpm-qf, and then I will mention the command path, and we can see it is under bin, so any user can run this command, and this command is a part of this package, that is mailx. So when we install the mailx package, it gives you this mail client. It is a mail client, it is not a mail server package, it is mail client which is used to send and check the mails. Okay, so I will switch to user 2 here, and user 2 uses the tool mail to check the mail, and it is no mail. User 1 is also don't have any mail here. Now user 1 want to send the mail to user 2, so it will use the mail client here, mail, and then it will use to give the mail to user 2 at, and then it will mention the name, and remember these names must be resolved from the DNS, and that is why we have to have DNS configured. Host file will not work. I will say hi, and this is local mail. Then for saving the mail, press Ctrl D. So Ctrl D will do what? It will send the mail to user 2. So when you give this command with the mail address, then it will give you this option here to say, give the subject, then the whatever you want to type in the mail, and for sending the mail, Control D. Now when you check it here from the user, we can see now mail here. We can see the mail here. It says here N means it is new, it is not readed, and the number for the mail is 1, and the mail is for user is coming from user 1. This is the mail address, this is the date and time, and this is the subject. Now user wants to read the mail, so it will press the number of that mail. Like if it is having a lot of mail, so it will put the number of that mail. I will give the number 1, and when I press enter, it will show the mail here. That mail is coming from this user and delivered to this user on this date. This is the subject and this is the message. To come out from here, press Ctrl D and come out. Now we send the mail from user 1 to user 2, and that is from local system. But that is not how the mail server works. Mail server, that means it has to accept the mail from other servers, other machines. That means if we have a mail server here, suppose this is our Linux machine and we want to use this server as a mail server. Now what that means, we configure the postfix here in this server, the mail transfer agent, and it will be listening on the port number 25. You start listening on port number 25. Port number 25, that means SMTP protocol. Now if it is listening only for the loopback interface, that means it will only accept the mail from user who is logging into this system and sending the mail who is going to log on to this same system. Now that is not how the mail server works. So mail server, that means this will be our mail server and users will log into the other machines. Like for example, they use the NIS services, LDAP configure, LDAP server, and they use to log into other systems, other Linux systems. And then what? Suppose this user 1 is logging to this system and user 2 is logging into the other system. So when user 1 wants to send the mail from the user 2, user 1 to send the mail to user 2. So user send the mail, so mail will go to the server. Now the server has to accept the mail because it is coming from the other machine. And that is why we have to configure the server. The default setting we have to change, and we have to configure the server to accept the mail from the other machines. But by default, it will not accept mail from other servers. But for making this machine, for using the machine as a mail transfer agent, as a mail server, we have to configure it to accept the mail from the other server. So for that, we have to configure it to accept the mail from other system. Like for example, right now it is not accepting the mail from other system. So if I try to send the mail from the other system, like for example, this is Linux 1. Now I will go to the other Linux. So we are on Linux 2 now. Now from here, I want to send the mail. I will use the same mail tool, mail client tool here. And then I want to send the mail to root user of the other system. The system Linux 1, this is Linux 2, and I want to send the mail to Linux 1, root user of Linux 1, and when I press enter, it says give the subject. I will say okay, hello, and this is a mail from Linux 2, and then I will save it. Now remember, it is not accepting the mail from the other system. So if I go to the server Linux 1 and try to see that mail has come or not for this user root, so it is showing some of the mail. Those mails are coming from system generated. These are system generated mails. These are security related informations. So this is different, but the mail which is sent by that user from the other system, from the Linux 2, it is not showing that mail here. So the mail is not coming here. Now where the mail is going? So mail is actually still waiting in the queue. We can check it here by using the mail queue command. And we can see the mail is still under the queue. It is not being delivered. Now why it is not delivered? So you can see we tried to send the mail. Now it is saying the error here. It says connect to the Linux 1 on this IP and this port number. It says connection refused. Connection refused because the other server, the Linux 1, is not accepting the mails from other system. It is only accepting mails from local system. And that is what we have to change. So for that we have to make the changes here, and we have to change the default configuration. And for that we will open the main configuration file here, that is main.cf. Now again it is heavily commented with the lots of description, so you can read those descriptions. Now these are the these are the configurations. Here it is saying queue directory. The mail queue directory is this, so all the mail queue will store there. This is the command directory for the command for the SBIN commands. Then daemon directory is this for the library files. Data directory is this. It is defining the data directory here. And this is the mail owner user, that means the user postfix. So any information, any we want to give any permission of any file, so that user must be postfix. Now we'll go to line number 76 first, and we will enable this line to define our host name. So I will delete this hash from here and I will put my host name here. Now we are not configuring anything, we are defining the variable here. So this is my linux1.example.com. This is my host name, and I am setting the host name into this host name variable. Then next I will set the variable for my domain, that is called my domain, on line number 83. Here I will give the domain name of my, like example.com, DNS domain name. Now we configured the variable here, which is my host name and my domain name. Now this variable is going to be used for the rest of the configuration file. So we don't have to change anywhere else. We don't have to give everywhere the name of our system and the name of our domain. This variable is going to be used. Like for example, here I am giving the my origin configuration. So I say my origin, I will enable the line. I say my origin means my host name. I am using the variable here. Then again I say my origin is my domain name. That means if suppose we want to send a mail to someone, so that will be added this host name or domain name automatically. Like for example, I want to send a mail to user 1, want to send a mail to user 2. So he will have to type user 2 at, you can type the host name like linux1.example.com, or it can type only the example.com. So both will work because of this origin we have configured here. And even if it is not typing the name of the domain or host name, it will take the origin from here, from this variable or from this configuration. So this variable is having my host name, this variable is having my domain name, and this variable is setting on this variable my origin. So my origin means my host name and my domain name, and this will be configured in rest of the configuration file. Like here you can see my host name, and so on. It is going to configure everywhere. Now we are if you see the configuration down there, so those configurations are using the variable which we have configured. Now here it is configured the inet interfaces is equal to localhost, and this is why our Linux, this SMTP server, our postfix server is listening on 127.0.0.1 IP, only on loopback IP. So if we want to accept the mail from any other server, then we can configure this to all. Or if we want to accept the mail from only our domain or our host name, then we can set it like these variables, like my host name or my domain name. So it is going to accept the mail only from our domain name or our host name. It will not accept mail from any other server. What I will do, I will comment this and I will remove this comment, so it will accept mail from any other server. That means any other client or any other IP address. Now rest of the configuration will be configured by using those variables, so we don't have to change much here. Like for example, my destination is already configured with the variable and localhost, my host name and my domain. So we have defined the domain and host name previously, so we don't have to mention again here, and so on for the other configurations. So I will save this, and then because we have changes the main configuration file here, so we have to restart the service so that it will update the changes. Now when we check that our machine is listing on which IP address, so now we can see here it is showing all IP, it is showing the default IP. That means now it will accept the request from any IP, any host from the any network, or even if we have given the domain name, so it is going to accept only the mail from our domain name. Now the server, the machine, the client machine which was trying to send the mail to this server, now it can send and it will receive the mail. Now we'll check back to the Linux 2 machine. Now here it was pending, it was under the queue. Now let's try to check whether it is delivered or not. So it is still under the queue. It is going to be delivered after some time. It will refresh the time, it will retry that after some time, and it will deliver the message. It will take little time because it refreshes after certain time. Now I don't want to wait for it, so what I will do, I will send the new mail here by using the same, and I will say this is new mail from Linux 2 and save. Now when you check the queue, you can see the previous mail is still under the queue, but the mail which we have sent right now, it is not in the queue, it has been delivered. We can verify it from the server from Linux 1. So now I will check the mail and I can see the mail here, and this is the new mail, and this is the number for the mail. So I will check the mail by using the number, and I can see the mail is coming from this root user of Linux 2, and this is the message. So now we have configured the server to accept the mail from any client. Now the mail client which we are using is this mail. It comes with the MailX package. Now we have the other mail clients also. We can use the other mail clients also, whatever the mail client. There are some other mail clients also which we can use. Like this is the command line mail client, and if we want to use another command line mail client which is little better than this, so there is another tool which is available by default in our Linux installation DVD. It is called Mutt. This is also a client tool which we can use to send and receive mails. Now if you check this, it is saying no command is there because we have to install the package. The package for the Mutt is not installed, so it is not available. So if we want to use this mail client, so we have to install the package, and the package name is Mutt. Now it is installed, so I can use this Mutt here. Now it is running. I say yes. It is saying mailbox is not ready. I say yes. Now we can see the mails here directly in this Mutt, the mails which we have received. If we want to read any mail, so we can go on and select the mail, and you can read the mail. And in the top line you can see other options which you can do with that mail. Like for example, you can delete the mail, you can reply the mail, you can go to next page if it is a big mail, You can go for viewing the attachments. You can change the pages by using the previous and space bar to change the page to next page or that, and you can exit by pressing I. Same as you can use this tool on other client also, like for example we'll use it from the client side. From here let us check, is it still in the queue? It is still in under the queue, but it is going to be delivered. Now I want to use MUT here also, so I have to install the MUT here, and it is having a dependency, so I'm using RPM for it. I'm using yum for it. Now I will use MUT here. It says the mail does not exist, so you create. I say yes. Now you can see the options here: Q for quit, D for del, U for undel, S to save, M to mail, R to reply, G for group, and question mark for help. I want to send the mail, so I will press M. Then it is asking here that who you want to send the mail. So I want to send the mail to root, and root from the Linux 1. Now it says what will be the subject. So I say it is like this. Now what did it do? It opens the mail, it opens the VI editor. It opens the temporary file with the VI editor, so that you can edit the mail. You can write what you want to write. It is open and open in the VI editor. So you can press I, just like you use the VI editor. You can create your mail easily. You can say that this mail is sent from Linux 2 by using MUT, and then you can design your mail and then save it as you save it in VI, and you will come up here, and here you can see what you have done. You are sending the mail from this to this, CC, BC, subject, reply, and other option. You can see the mail is here. You can also even attach the attachment. This first Y is to send the mail, Q to abort if you don't want to send the mail, T to change the to, C to change the CC, S to change the subject, A to attach the file, and D to describe. Now if you want to attach any file, then you will use A here. So I press A, so it says attach the file. Which file you want to attach? You can see the local files by using the question mark. So I will press question mark, and I can see the local file system. Like this is my root directory. When I go inside my root directory by pressing enter, so I can see these files. So I want to attach one file here, so I will attach this file. I press enter, and now the file is attached. And then I want to send the mail, so I will press Y, and the mail is sent. Now we will check it from the other side, from the server side. Now from the server side, it is already open. So I will quit it, and then I will open it again, and I can see the mail here. And I can see the mail which was not delivered first time. It is now also delivered. This was the first mail. It is also delivered now, and the new mail which I delivered is this one with the attachment. So you can open the mail, you can see. You can open the mail, you can see the mail here. This is the message we have, and we can see the attachment is also showing here. If you want to view the attachment separately, then you can use V option, and it will show you what is the attachment. This is the attachment. This is the syntax for the attachment. Press I for exit from here, and this is the mail attachment. This is the mail message, and I for exit. Q for quit. And there are some other options, like you can print also, you can reply, help, whatever. You want to get help, you can press question mark here, you can get the whole help of these commands, like what these options will these characters do. You can get the whole help here. And to exit from here, we can press Q and we can exit it. Now there is another thing which is called Dove code. Now Dove code, when we configure the postfix, so it configures the SMTP protocol on server. Now SMTP server only used to send mail, but if you want to receive mail from the mail client application, we have to configure the POP3 or IMAP protocol, because remember, for receiving the mail we use POP3 or IMAP. In RHEL 7 we use the Dove code to configure the POP3 or IMAP. So POP3 will do what? POP3, that means post office protocol. By default it downloads all the mails from server to the client machine. That means when you use the POP3, so by default we can change this, but by default it will download all the mails. So when you try to check it on server, you will not find the mail. All the mails will be downloaded from the client machine in the client application, and that means we do not have any mails remains on server. So it is important to take backup on client side for mails. So if you want to take the backup of your mail, so you will not take it from server, you will take it from your client side. It uses 110 port of TCP port. That means TCP port 110 for POP3. POP3 means it is a POP3 version, POP version 3. Now IMAP, we have IMAP also, that is called Internet Message Access Protocol, and it do what? By default copy mails from server, and that means we have one copy of mails on server and one copy on client machine. So it will not download the mails, it will keep the copy. This is POP3 was used in old days where the connections was not that good, so users wants to download the mail in the client, and whenever they want to see the mail. In that time the POP3 was very good, but nowadays the the connections are now not the problem, and also we have one more thing, that we access the mail from different devices. We want to access the mail from laptop, we want to access the mail from desktop, we want to access the mail from our mobiles also. Now in that case, if you are accessing the mails from different sources, POP3 is not the suitable protocol, because it will download the mail from only one client. So first time when you use it, it will download it in your laptop. Now you will not see it on other devices, because it has downloaded on the client machine, and that is why the IMAP is used. So IMAP is used so that you can have a copy on server, and you can access the mail from any sources, any devices, anytime. It uses 143 of TCP port. Now if you want to configure the Dove code, so first requirement for the Dove code is to configure the postfix to send the mails, because we have to send the mail, and then to configure the Dove code we need the package name Dove code. So first we have to send the mail, otherwise we will not be able to receive the mail. Now for Linux environment, if you are having only the Linux environment, you don't need to have the postfix, this Dove code configured. That means for the Linux environment, what happens, when user 1 sends the mail to user 2, so mail will go to the mail server, and mail server will store the mail into the mailbox of user 2. That is the default mailbox, that is under where's full mail directory. Now when user 2 logs in, so when the user 2 logs in, like for example it is using NIS, or is it using LDAP, whatever, it is using those services to log into the client machine. Now it will do what? When it log in, it will get the access of its profile files, mailboxes and everything. So it is not downloading the mail, it is only getting the profile by using the NIS or LDAP or other services. So when the user want to see the mail, it can see the mail based on their profile. So it is not downloading the mail, but it is not good for the user, it is not easy for use. Or even if suppose you are using the Windows machine here. Now Windows machine, we can't use this machine to log in like this. We can't use NIS or other Linux services to log in the client here in this machine, in Windows machine. So what we can do, if you want to access the mail server from Windows machine, so in Windows we used to use Outlook. We used to use the Microsoft Outlook there. Now that is a different application here. Or even in the Linux machine also we have some applications we can configure those applications to access the mail server. Now when we want to configure the applications, so those applications use either POP3 or IMAP to download the mails from the mail server, to get the mail, to receive the mail. For sending the mail, they still will use the SMTP protocol. That is what we required. But for receiving the mail, they need to have a POP3 or IMAP configured. And that is why we have to configure POP3 or IMAP in our server. And for that, we have to use Dovecot. So for configuring the Dovecot, first we need to have the we have to configure the postfix first, so that it will accept the mail. And for receiving the mail, we can configure the Dovecot. First, the package name is Dovecot, which we required. We can install the package by using RPM or yum. Then after installing, these are the main configuration file. This is the important file. This is the main configuration file for the Dovecot, and this is the service file for the Dovecot if we want to start the service. So we have to start this dovecot.service. So on this server, when we check the protocol SMTP is running, that means when we grab the package, when we grab the port number 25, so it is available. But when we try to grab the other ports, like for POP3 110, it is not available. For IMAP, if I try to grab 143, it is also not available because it is not configured. So for configuring this, we need to install the package called Dovecot. So we can check whether the Dovecot is installed or not. Now Dovecot is installed, but it is not configured. If it is not installed, so we should have installed by using the yum or RPM command. Now it is not going to do anything because it is already installed. Now it is installed, so first we have to make sure, like service is not running maybe, that is why it is not showing anything. So when you check the service status for the Dovecot, it is not running, it is dead. Now before starting the service, we have to configure the Dovecot. So the main configuration file, as we see, is under etc Dovecot, and the dovecot.conf is the main configuration file. So first I will open the main configuration file, and in the main configuration file we'll go to line number 24, and in this line it is saying that the protocol is equal to IMAP and POP3. So if we want to listen, if we want to accept the request, if we want to enable the protocol IMAP and POP3, so we will enable this line. Then we will enable one more line. This line to listen is equal to star. That means it is going to listen from everyone. This is on line number 30. So we enable the line number 24 and line number 30. And then we will save this file. Now there are other configurations also we have to do. Now other configurations are like, by default Dovecot uses the secure encrypted authentication, and for that it uses the self-signed certificate, but it is not that secure. Or we can use the plain text authentication. So to use the plain text authentication, first we have to configure the other configuration file, which is under the drop-on directory for the Dovecot. Under the Dovecot conf.d directory, we have auth 10 auth-conf. In this file, we have to make sure, we have to change this line number 10. We have to uncomment the line number 10 and disable the plain text, disable plain text authentication option. That means the option says disable plain text authentication. This option by default is saying yes. That means it is disabling the plain text authentication. So we want to enable the plain text authentication, so we will say no. When we say no, so it will enable the plain text authentication. Then in line number 100, we will add the login here. It will have always it will also have the option plain already there. We just add the login into it. We are going to open the configuration directory. Under the configuration directory, there is a drop-on directory here. We have multiple files here. So from that, I will open the auth-conf file. And in that, we have this line here, line number 10. I will enable the line number 10, and line says that disable plain text authentication is equal to yes. That means it is disabling the plain text authentication. So for enabling the plain text authentication, I will say no, don't disable it. Then line number 100, when you go, you have this option here. It says mechanism. It is by default plain. So we have to add one more option here, login. Now that's it for this file. We have to do this only and save it. Now by default all user mailboxes are under the where school mail directory. But to use the dovecode, we have to change the mailbox directory for users to their home directory. So for that we have to go to the other configuration file, which is mail.conf, and under that there is a line number 30, and we have to uncomment the line number 30. Now it says that every user's home directory we should have the mail dir directory, and in that mail dir directory it is going to store all the mails of that user. So we do this and then save the line, save the file. So next we will open this file. Mail.conf, and under the file we'll go to line number 30. And we enable the line number 30, and here we will add, we can see that option here. So we will add the option like this here. Mail dir will be under the home directory. This symbol means home directory. Under the home directory of the every user, the directory name will be mail dir. Now we'll save this. Now we changed it from the dove code, but also from the postfix we have to change. So from postfix we have the change in mail directory from the postfix also. So mail coming from the SMTP protocol will store in the same directory where dovecode try to access it by using the POP3 or IMAP. So we have to change from the postfix configuration also, that when the mail comes, so it will also store in the same directory where the dovecode like POP3 or IMAP is trying to retrieve it. So in the main configuration file of the postfix, we will go to 419 line and we just uncomment the line because the configuration is already there, and save the file. Now we'll open the main configuration file of postfix, that is main.cf. We can directly go to line number 419, 416 or 19. And we can see the option is still there, so we have to just enable the option by just removing the hash. So it says, now remember, when you enable this first option, it is also looking like same, but that means different. It is not means the directory, it means a file, but we want directory. Directory means you have the slash at the end. You can read this comment here. It is describing the same thing, that if you enable this, that means it is a mailbox is a file, and this means mailbox is a directory. We have configured it as a directory in dovecode, so here also we have to configure it as a directory, not as a file. So after this we will save it. Now we have to do one more. Now we have to also make sure that default postfix users and groups default mask for the file permission. So when the files comes or goes, so what will be the file permission? So we can mention it by using this configuration file master.conf from the dovecode configuration. On line number 96 and 98, we have to add these options, like uncomment these lines here, which has having this option like Unix listener from this mode. This will be the umask, and user for postfix, and group is also postfix. Then we will save this file also. So we will open the dovecode conf.d directory, master.conf, and we'll go to line number 98 and 90. So we enable this. We enable the whole syntax, and then we add the name of the user and group here. So the user will be postfix, and group is also postfix. After this, we will save this also. Now finally we will do what? We will disable the SSL, which is coming from this SSL conf file. On the line number 8 there is a SSL option. Yes, we have to just say that SSL is equal to no, and then after that we can start the service of Dovecot, and we can see that the services are, we can see, and also we will enable the service to be start every time. Then we can see the port number 110 and 143 is available. So now what we are going to do, we are going to open the SSL file, and in that line number 8 you can see it is saying SSL is required. So I will say no, I don't require SSL. I will configure no here, and then save this. And now we are ready to start the service Dovecot. And we can check the status of the Dovecot service, and it is now running, and it is disabled by default, so we will enable this also. And now when we check the ports 110, so it is available and it is listening on all IP addresses. And if we check the port number 143, so it is also available, and our server is listening from this port also. Now remember, we have changed the mailbox directory for the users, so we should verify the directory is changed or not. We'll try to send the mail to users, like I will try to send mail to user 1. And also I will try to send user 2. Then I will check whether it is creating the directory or not. Now we can see that directory is created here. That means user's mail is going into now this directory. It is created automatically. Now we can check the directory here. So we can see the mails are there now. Current mail, new mails, and temporary mail. So if you see the current mail, no, new mail, we have one mail here, the mail which we have sent from this user account root. Also we can check user 2, which we have sent the mail. So we can see here is also created the directory. So our configuration is working. Now when we check the directory, we can see the mail, the directory for the mails is there, and when we check the new directory, we can see the mail is there. So when it is readed, then it is go to current mail. Okay, so it is working now. Now we can go on to use from the client side. For testing it, what we do, we go to the Windows machine. This is our Windows 10 machine. We'll start the Outlook here, Microsoft Outlook. And when we start this first time, so it says you want to configure the profile. So I say yes, I want to configure the profile. It says, do you want to set up the Outlook connect to the email account? You say yes, I want to configure it. Now it says you want to configure it automatically, like it will give you a username and your name, email address and password. and it will try to configure it automatically from internet. Now because it is Windows, so it is trying to go by the Windows way, so manual setup. And here in the manual setup we get the option to use POP or IMAP. So we will use the POP or IMAP here, and here it is giving me the option to configure the name. Like I want to configure it for the user 1, and the password, the email address for user 1 will be user1 at linux1.example.com. Make sure that the name will be resolved and DNS is there to resolve it. Now you can choose IMAP or POP3, whatever you want. I will choose IMAP. Now it says what will be the incoming server. So the incoming server IP address is this. That is the same server which is the sending server, the outgoing server. That means IMAP server is also the same and the SMTP server is also same. So I will give the same IP address here. Now the username will be the email address and the password for that user account. And I will say remember the password also. Now when you press next, it shows that enter your username and password. So that is what we have given here. Now it will try to, when you press OK, it will try to check the server. This username is wrong. Username, that means the username. The username here, we have to give the name of that user. That means it is going to logged into this the server by using the username and the password. Now it is trying to confirm the setting from server. And if anything goes wrong, it will give you this error. Or if everything is okay, so you will see here all set, all okay. Again it is saying the username is wrong, so I will fix the username. Now you can see the incoming traffic is successfully completed and sending is also complete, like both are successfully configured. So user 1 profile is configured successfully. I will close and finish this. Now as we finish this, it is going to open. Now it is asking me the password, so I will say save my password. Now we can see the user's mail here. This is the auto-generated mail for the Outlook. When we configure the Outlook, it generates the mail. It will give you this mail, how to use it. Save my password. And this is the mail which user root sent. Remember the mail which we have sent, the mail to from the user, and the mail which is gone to the user's mailbox under the home directory of that user. Now if the user wants to send the mail, it can send the mail by using this. It wants to send the mail to user2 at linux1.example.com, subject, and we can say mail from Windows, and we can send it. And if the user 1 wants to check the mails, then what it can do send receive. So it will show all the new mails. So this is how it is connecting the user server and getting the mails from the server. Now we can check the mail which is sent to the user 2. So we'll check it from server. I will switch to user 2 and I will check the mail, and we can see the mail is coming. Is it there? It is actually not there because we have changed the mailbox directory. Remember, now this mail tool which we are using, it is still watching the mail from that default directory, and there is no mail. So where the mail goes into this mailbox directory. So we can check the mail by using the directory, and under the directory we have the new mail here, and we can see the mail here. This was the first was the previous mail which was sent by the root user, and the next mail which is sent from the user. So it is actually this one. So when I cat that, so I can see the mail, and we can see the lots of thing here about the mail text, and we can see the message here. We can see lots of thing here because it is for the Outlook. It is coming from Outlook, and it is better used, better seen in Outlook. So you can see the mail here. Now if user 1 sends the mail, this user sends the mail to user 2, like it will send it by using the mail command. It wants to send mail to user 1. We say, and I will type 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and save. Now this mail, we can see it on that Windows machine. We can see the mail is here under this Outlook. We have sent this mail from user 2. We can see the mail. If it is not showing the mail, then we can press send receive, and it will update everything. So this is how we can use Outlook. We can use POP3 or IMAP to send and receive, and we can do this for the other mail clients other than the Linux machines. Now we have another option. We can also configure the webmail. Webmail, that means webmail, or we can say web-based mail. This is an email service that can be accessed using the standard web browser. It concentrates with the email service accessible through the specialized email client software. We can use Spiral Mail. We can have multiple tools, but there is an open source tool called Spiral Mail. Very small, very lightweight. We can use it, and this is an open source webmail package written in PHP, and it includes built-in PHP support for IMAP and SMTP protocol, and it has a very few requirements and very easy to install and configure. Now what is the prerequisites for the Spiral Mail? First, it gives you web-based access to our existing mail server. So we need to configure postfix for SMTP server and Dovecode for POP3 or IMAP server. Then it gives access through web, so we need the HTTP server configured with PHP support. And we have to download the Spiral Mail package from the official site. This is the official site. We can download the package from there. It is in KB, so we can download it very easily. After all the requirement configured, mail server and HTTP server installed, PHP packages, and downloading the Spiral Mail software is ready, then what we do for configuring it, first we have to extract the package. It will be as a tar zip file, and then what we do, we move to the directory here. When we extract this file, this package, so it will give you this directory, Spiral Web Mail. So we will move this directory we will rename the directory by Spiral Mail, and then we'll move the directory to the USR share Spiral Mail under the USR share directory. So I have this package. Now I have a package. I have downloaded the Spiral Mail here on the desktop. We can see the Spiral Mail is there. It is *zip. So first we have to extract that. So we will use a command. We will go to desktop, and we will use a command tar zxvf to extract it. So when we extract it, it will give this directory here. We have to do what? We have to rename the directory and move it to USR share. So what we will do, we will move this Spiral Mail directory to USR share by using the name webmail or Spiral Mail. Spiral Mail. Now after doing this, we will go to the directory which we have moved, Spiral Mail. Now under the directory we have these files here, and in these files we have the readme file also, where we can do what? We can use the readme. We can see how we can configure this. Okay, we have not changed the directory. Okay, it is under this. It is saying this, please see all our documentation in doc directory. Okay, so it is having all the documentation under the doc directory, under this document directory, how to install and how to configure this. But first, what we need here, we need to configure the sendmail and postfix and dove code, which we have already done. One more thing which we need is our HTTP server. HTTP server must be also running. So system ctl status httpd, so it is not running. So I will do what, I will start this, and we can verify the site is working or not. I am under this Windows client, I can use this also. So I will open the browser here, and try to check the site is working or not. The site is working, our website is working, our HTTP services are working. Now we are going to configure this. So under this we have the config directory here, and when we go to the config directory, we have this script, configuration script, written in Perl language. So we'll run this configuration script here, and it shows like this. Now it gives you the main menu where you have numbers to configure the things. Like for example, you want to configure one is the organizational preference, you can select one, and it says what you want to put, the organization name, organization logo, and other information. I want to give the organization name. I change the organization name. I can even change the logo also. I don't want to do those, so I will save this by using the S and continue. Now you can change, you can return to main menu by using the R. Then you can just save the other settings also, like server setting, folder default, general options. You can change themes, address books, plugins, database, languages, everything what you want to see. I will go by like server you want to change, you go on to select the server, and here this is already selected, that localhost is already selected because this is localhost is the server. This is the domain is already taken from the DNS name. So I will say OK and return to main menu, and then I will save this. So whatever you want to do, after doing that, save it and quit. Now we have to make sure that the directory is available. This directory is available from the web server. So for that we will create the directory alias here. Directory alias, that means the directory is located in another place, like the directory is located under the USR share, and this is spiral mail here. It is located here as a spiral mail. But what we will do, we will create the new alias for this, short alias. So we will go to main configuration file for our HTTP. And under this we are going to create the alias for us. So for that I will go to directly bottom of my directory file, and here I will create the alias. Alias will be webmail. That means the webmail is going to be accessed as a webmail, and the actual path for this is under USR share. The name for this is spiral mail. You have to make sure the name is right there, the path is right. Then because we are adding the syntax, the directory here, so we have to add the directory syntax also for this. That means directory open with the path, that is USR share spiral mail with the options. That means I will say indexes, and follow symlinks, allow overread I don't need, then I need directory index name as a index.php, and then I will say require all granted, and then I will close the directory syntax. So this is what we have to create, and we have to make sure we are giving the right name here, the right path here. And I will save this, and for this I will restart the services, like I will restart HTTPD service, because we have did some changes here. And I will do restart the services like postfix also, and dovecoat also, postfix and dovecoat. Okay, now we are ready to use this. Okay, we will open the browser from the client side. This is our Windows client. Whether it is Windows or Linux doesn't matter. Our site must be working. So this site is working. Now what we'll do, we'll give here webmail, the alias which we created there. Okay, there is some problem. Now we saw the error previously because what the PHP packages was not installed on the server. I forgot to install the PHP packages. So you have to install the PHP packages on the web server. So it will enable the PHP support, because remember the spiral mail is configured in PHP. Now this is the icon image here. We can also change this. We have changed the name here, but we can change all of these things according to our organization. Now the name for the user, you will give the name here and the password here to log in. No, I don't want to save this. Okay, we get one more thing here. Now this error is about the permission. The directory which we have created there, it is not having a permission there. Now it was the problem of the security what I did, and it was not creating this directory for data automatically. So I have created this directory and I have given the permission to all, but you should give the permission to Apache, not for all, so it will work. It was giving the error for the permission, so now it is clear. So I will log in as a user 1 here, and you will see it like this. This is your mail. It is your mail, web mail. You can see the mails here, what you got, and just like you use Gmail or Yahoo, you can use this also. You can see the mails. You can do reply or do send mails. You can compose mail. You can send mail to user 2. Add linux1.example.com. Whatever the subject you want to write, and whatever you do like signature and all these things, we can say that this mail from webmail. You can do attach all those things and then send. Now I have sent the mail to user 2. I will sign out and I can log in as a user 2 also here. User 2. and I can see the mail which have sent by user 1. This is the message. You can do lots of things here. You can change the theme, you can go to options, you can do all those things here. You can change the display preference, folder preference, personal preference. This is for the personal users. So it is a good web mail which we can use with our Linux server. But remember, it is configured upon the postfix and Dove code. So when you have configured the postfix and Dove code, then you can configure the spiral mail also. So this is a mail server we have in our Linux RHEL 7.